Hello, SFMade. I am pleased to introduce to you our MC for the next 20 or 30 minutes, Robin McCroskey Azevedo.
So good afternoon and welcome. My name is Robin McCroskey Azevedo, and I'm with McCroskey Mattress Company and a manufacturer in San Francisco for the past 112 years. I'm also vice chair of SFMade, and actually I think it's a great fit to be chair of vice and a mattress maker. I'd like to extend a welcome to all of you from the board of directors of San Francisco Made and to this third annual Ramp It Up party. A list of thank yous, so pay attention, find out who's participating tonight. Last year, McCroskey hosted the Ramp It Up party for about 200 people, and tonight the party's grown. So big thanks to Speakeasy and their staff, Forrest Gray, Brandon Borgell, and their entire team. It's a pleasure to be at your party at your house. I want to also have you recognize many members of SF Made organization that are serving beverages and food tonight. I can tell you're all already enjoying that. We also would like to thank our sponsors for this evening: Google, Levi Strauss & Company, 5M, which is a project of Forest City, New Resource Bank, and Zazzle. Thank you. We also have many of our elected leaders here tonight. Thank you, Mayor Lee, for joining us. And Malia, thank you. You'll be hearing from both of them in a few minutes. Thank you for the members of the Board of Supervisors that are attending and staff from the offices of Nancy Pelosi and Jackie Spear. We appreciate the support that you all give us in developing manufacturing in San Francisco, supporting it here and supporting it nationally. We'd also like to thank members of the city family, as your staff likes to refer to itself, for joining us tonight. Folks from the Office of the Economic and Workforce Development, the Office of Small Business, and the Planning Department. I appreciate your being here this evening. And last but not least, great big thanks to Janet Lees, who's the Senior Director at SFMade, and Farron Salniker, who's event coordinator. They've helped throw a big party tonight, so you're appreciating all their work. So each year Ramp It Up party is at a different manufacturing location in a different part of the city. And we like to showcase the diversity of manufacturing in San Francisco. And we especially like to pay attention to the Bayview. It's a base for local manufacturing. It holds the biggest sector of manufacturers. And it's District 10 is really a great concentration of manufacturers. We're proud to be a part of District 10 now, manufacturing-wise, having moved out of the corner of Hayes Valley and the edge of the Mission to manufacturing in District 10 in the central waterfront neighborhood. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce District 10 Supervisor Malia Cohen.
Thank you, Robin. Hello, everybody. Are you fired up to be here? That was okay. Let me hear it again. Are you fired up? Today we came to celebrate local businesses happening right here in our neighborhood, in our backyard. I am Malia Cohen. I'm your faithful, humble servant. I serve every single day in City Hall along with the city family, and I want to say thank you to my colleague Scott Wiener, the tall, good-looking guy. Scott, raise your hand. That's the one good-looking man, I'm telling you. I just want to welcome everybody to this fantastic event. I'm so excited to be here because this is an event that gives me an opportunity to show off to not only to my colleagues and my friends, but also to folks that don't know that we have it going on out here in Bayview. So give yourself a round of applause, please. Now, as someone who's only been in office for a little over a year, it's amazing when you stop and you think about how much growth in manufacturing, how large the manufacturing growth is growing here in the city. Even in difficult economic climate, manufacturing companies have started to grow inside San Francisco. And you know what? We can't say that about every single business in San Francisco. One of the things that is most unique about what we're doing out here in the southeast part of the city is that we are reusing and repurposing old vacant spaces. We've invested in the neighborhood, and more importantly, we have hired local San Francisco talent. That's critical to this day and age. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the hard work of Kate Softis and the SFMade team. Thank you. Because we would not be as successful as we are if it were not for the hard work and the compassion and the commitment and proving that San Francisco residents can and do business right here in San Francisco. And it's no secret that we've had our fair share of challenges out here in the Bayview District. But it's events like this that show that we are not going to be defined about the history of the Bayview, but whether we're going to be defined by the future of the Bayview neighborhood. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up, who am I bringing up? Okay, I'm sorry I got off script now. It's good now. Meet me at the bar if you really want to know the truth. Meet me at the speakeasy table. All right, my friends, let me bring up Robin.
I'm here to introduce Kate Softis, who's the founding executive director of San Francisco Made, who's as comfortable on the manufacturing floor as she is directing the Clinton Initiative. So, Kate.
Wow, what a celebration. Look at all of you who are here tonight. I see manufacturers, I see members of the Board of Supervisors, I see funding partners. Thank you. You are the people who make manufacturing work in San Francisco. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for everything you do. Do you know we started just a little more than 2 years ago, and since then, since our humble beginnings with only 12 companies, we have now reached 325 manufacturers, all here in the city, providing more than 3,000 jobs to San Francisco residents. Look at what this group has accomplished. And we're not only seeing venerable companies like Heath Ceramics, who after 50 years in operation, having once started on Clay Street in San Francisco, making the decision to move back to San Francisco. We are also seeing new manufacturers being born. San Francisco is once again reclaiming its place as a place where manufacturers can start and stay and grow. Over 30% of you are only 3 years old or younger. Look at what we've accomplished. Look at the possibility that we have. And you know, it's not only happening here. As I think Robin alluded to, last year around the same time, I was standing on a very different stage next to, you can imagine him, President Bill Clinton. He's about that tall. And next to me, colleagues from Made in New York City. And back then, we announced our intention to create a national alliance of cities who were all trying to reinvigorate their own manufacturing sectors. We started with 2 cities, San Francisco and New York. Well, this year, next month, in fact, we've been invited back to the Clinton Global Initiative, where we will have the privilege of announcing that we now have 14 major U.S. cities all working, trying to grow their own urban manufacturing sectors. From Chicago to Cleveland to Atlanta to Memphis to LA, San Francisco, New York, this is something happening on a national scale and beyond our borders as well. Last year, Made in Copenhagen launched. This year, Made in Montreal is in the works. And the thing I want all of us to take away from this is that in all of these efforts, we are connected, and in all of these efforts, San Francisco is actually being viewed as the model for these other cities. San Francisco. So give ourselves a hand for what we are accomplishing for us and for these other cities. But now on a personal level, something I feel is maybe most important to me, as I look at the kind of companies we have here and I look at the kind of work that you are doing in your companies, this is not manufacturing as we know it. This is not manufacturing as people often think of it. I grew up in a very different manufacturing city on the East Coast called Buffalo. And when I was a kid in the 70s, growing up in Buffalo, that was a city that was simply hemorrhaging manufacturing jobs, along with all the other cities in the old industrial Rust Belt. And as a young person, you grew up being told to run as fast and as far away from manufacturing as you possibly can. But what I see now, what I see in the companies that we have in SFMade in San Francisco is a whole other kind of manufacturing. I see soul-inspired companies. I see men and women working who can actually earn enough to support their families. I see MBAs from Stanford. I see PhDs from MIT choosing to actually start the next iPad manufacturer or the next apparel manufacturer instead of the next Twitter. Which is not to say I have anything against Twitter, and for all of you tweeting right now, please continue. But at the end of the day, as I raise my own 2 daughters, I would be proud for either of them to work in this sector. And this is a whole new world we have in front of us. So tonight, if you are a resident of San Francisco who has stumbled their way into this to explore what we have as a city to offer, dig deep, use the rest of this SFMade week to go on a factory tour, participate in Shop Local this Saturday. I want to especially highlight the Valencia corridor. We have more than 60 retailers selling locally manufactured products this weekend, and a healthy number of them are along Valencia, and a number of them received damage last week. And so one way you can sort of show your support for those businesses is to shop this weekend. If you are someone with expertise, or if you are a funding partner, invest in this community of companies. They need your investment capital, they need your expertise, they need your resources. We at SFMade need your resources. Consider making those kinds of investments. If you are an elected official, and I know there are many of you here tonight, have the courage to continue to move forward the kind of legislation that may be difficult, but is so essential to keeping the city a fertile place for manufacturing to be. And most of all, if you are one of our 325 manufacturers here tonight, recognize we are so much more powerful together than we are individually. Take a moment to meet each other. Create a pop-up shop combining custom-made guitars and furniture, which is an actual pop-up shop that was created earlier this year. Find one another, market to each other's customers, figure out what creativity and innovation happens when we work together. And recognize that we make products. We make guitars and mattresses and apparel and granola and beer and wine and kombucha. But more than all of that, we are making a difference. And so tonight, let us celebrate all that we have made, and let us celebrate the possibility. Thank you.
Kate, thank you. You've really captured what we are celebrating, and it's the rebirth of urban manufacturing. So I want to welcome Mayor Lee, and helping us lead the way in the #1 city of urban manufacturing.
Thank you, Robin. Hello, everybody. Well, first of all, I want to thank Robin and Katie and Supervisor Cohn and Supervisor Weiner for joining all of us tonight. I just had a nice beer. I got 4 pages of notes that I'm throwing away because I'm having fun tonight. You know, every week my staff gets me out to a company tour. Tonight is one of those fun nights. Take me on more breweries, why don't you, staff? Just wonderful. Forrest Gray, thank you very much for hosting us tonight. Speakeasy, talk about manufacturing. They've been brewing fine ales and beers since 1997. Congratulations, Forrest. Thank you very much. You know, I am privileged to work with wonderful people, and I can't say enough about Katie Sophus. Just 3.5 years since we started, and now 325 companies later, manufacturers, investor confidence, jobs, jobs, jobs. Katie, thank you for your wonderful leadership in SFMade. You and the board of directors for SFMade, thank you very much for your wonderful leadership. These are the people I want to work with when we think about San Francisco and what we make. You know, my daughters used to have a joke. Daddy, the only thing you make are crude jokes. Well, that doesn't sell, at least not now. But I want you to know that I am very heartened with our manufacturing base here. And as much as you've heard me speak about the technology companies and they're wonderful, and of course we're espousing them every week and supporting them, I want to make sure you know that I'm going to be speaking about our San Francisco made products all the time. I'm proud of our San Francisco made products: apparel, chocolates, wine, beer, jewelry, everything that we can manufacture. And guess what? I'm going to make a big promise to you tonight, because the more that we make of San Francisco, the more international markets will pay attention to San Francisco. And guess what? I am so lucky. We are the home to 70 consul general offices in the world, the highest number outside of New York, Washington, D.C. We've got to take advantage of that. So I'm going to go on a very strong plea. Support our local makers and manufacturers of San Francisco-made products. We are going to be #1 in the world, and we're going to have a market for that to share. Thank you for manufacturing all the things that you do. So here's what I and Supervisor Cohn and the Board of Supervisors are going to do, okay? #1, we're going to start a manufacturing desk at the Office of Economic and Workforce Development, a manufacturing desk right in the mayor's office. And that manufacturing desk would be my link to all of you and people who want to make things in San Francisco. That manufacturing staff will report directly to me, and they will let me know what kinds of red tape we have to cut off, what kinds of things that we have to do to support manufacturing, get all the regulation out of the way. Because guess what? The most important thing that we need to do is pay attention to our manufacturing base. We need your input. You're going to be the great job creators for San Francisco. When you make your own things, by the very nature, that is so sustainable for our economy. So I'm going to be talking about this all the time whenever I get an opportunity. We make things in San Francisco. We know how to sell them. The San Francisco brand is known around the world. I'm about to go to China. Whenever people in China think about San Francisco and the things we make, they'll want to buy it. A new, really money-making and money-earning middle class in China is growing up. They want to buy San Francisco products. And I know that. And they'll want to buy our kimchi. They want to buy our chocolates. They want to buy our beers and all the other things that are high-quality, precision-made, locally manufactured products. The second thing that we'll do, we're doing things like concentrating on certain sectors. So we have Fashion SF. We're spending resources and making time. I want to thank Roger, people from the fashion industry for working with us. Roger, thank you very much for working with SFMade and our whole group. We're going to revive the fashion industry in San Francisco because the fashion industry is what goes along with all the technology and all the arts and culture that we have. Fashion is going to revive itself, and we know we can really succeed in that. Well, there are other sectors that we can focus on, and we want to do that, and we want to listen to our sectors as we speak. We have food and wine sectors. We're going to listen to them very carefully so that we can really support our local manufacturing business. The third thing that we'll do, again, is something that we put in our budget already this year. We're going to invest in our local economy for manufacturing. Over the year, we have invested around $67,000 in SFMade. We're going to continue that this year and expand on it with the Board of Supervisors' help, aren't we, Malia? Absolutely. Because she knows the more we spend, it'll be in her district. So we're going to continue the financial thing because we got to walk the walk. We just don't talk it. And when you manufacture and make things, we want to make sure you can sell them. So the other thing that we're doing is making sure that I create those international markets. As I said earlier, we have the ability to market San Francisco products all over the world. And I've got to take advantage of that. So when I go to China, my first trip in November, you better be sure that SFMade will be part of that, because they're going to want to know what can we purchase from you that is of quality. And if it's accessories, from handbags to ceramics to chocolates, we're going to be promoting that, and we're going to create those markets as we speak. Finally, the other thing that we want to make sure you know that we're doing, it's consistent with everything that I'm doing, and that's jobs, jobs, jobs for local San Francisco residents. Because guess what? When you start making things, people here in San Francisco can use their natural God-given talent. A lot of people think the only way they can get a job is to go to a four-year college. No, you don't have to do that if you're in the manufacturing business. You can come and create and make things out of your hands and still have a market to do that. We want to make sure that people, San Francisco residents who live here, can be attached to all the local hiring that we do in our manufacturing business. So we're going to make that direct connection and give people hope, no matter what economic level you are, no matter what race and ethnicity, no matter where you came from. If you live in our city, you got a job. And if it's not in the tech industry or the healthcare industry or the tourism industry, it's making things that will be sold around the world, and you'll get credit for that just by being part of our workforce. These are the things, 5 things I want to promise you that we'll do with you. I want to thank SFMade. I want to thank the board and all of the people that are here tonight to celebrate this momentous occasion. We'll be visiting all of you as you manufacture more things, because I want to know, I want to hold on to those products. I want to have samples in my office so that when I have international visitors, they'll see, where did this come from? Made right here in San Francisco. I want to stop seeing these labels of made in China. They got to be made in San Francisco. Yeah. So I've got a special gift I'd like to give now. Of course, this is lodged in my SFMade bag right here from San Francisco. And it's something that I am privileged to do in celebration of SFMade Week, and that is to present the proclamation to Katie Sophis and the board declaring this to be SFMade Week in San Francisco. Absolutely. Please do.
I want to make special recognition of the team. As much as I appreciate being called out, this whole week is happening because of my 2 colleagues who I'd like to have up on the stage with me to receive this proclamation. Janet Lee is our Senior Director. and Farron Salniker, our program coordinator. Can you both come up and stand with me, please? Farron? Are you losing Farron? Will you hold it? This is the SFMade team, full-time, working to support 325 companies. This wouldn't have happened without Janet and Farron. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mayor Lee, thank you very much. That was wonderful acknowledgement. The next part of the program will present 3 awards. The first award is new this year, and to be sure I get it correctly, it's called SFMade Places to Make Award, and it goes to an individual or a group that has shown extraordinary effort to facilitate somebody getting started in manufacturing in San Francisco. So I think Mayor Lee is going to present that award. And this is our Places to Make Award.
Last September, we had a really big hit in San Francisco. When Heath Ceramics decided to move to San Francisco, they needed to work with a property owner that not only welcomed them, but someone who they can work with for the long term, that had shared the same vision of growing, of allowing space to be made in our Northeast Mission area and allow Heath Ceramics to grow for generations to come. Tonight, I'd like to present the SFMade Places to Make Award to Fred Snyder, the property owner for Heath Ceramics, who's going to be working with us on their expansion in the very near future. Come on up, Fred. Fred, to your camaraderie, to your sharing the vision for San Francisco made products, but also just to your flexibility and understanding the needs to create and sustain a manufacturing base, we'd like to present the SFMade Award for Places to Make Award for you. Fred, thank you very much for your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you.
I get to introduce you back to the stage, Malia. So Malia will be presenting the New Maker Award. That's somebody that's been a new manufacturer for less than 3 years. Malia?
All right, friends, I'm back, and I'm excited because today I get to introduce to you the New Maker Award. It's given each year to a company that is less than 3 years old that exemplifies the values of San Francisco, of SFMade, manufacturing a quality product, exhibiting innovation, creating jobs for the local economy, and making a significant and positive contribution to the SFMade community. Now, the honoree is one of SFMade's youngest, hold on, I've always wanted to do that, and fastest growing companies. They started only 2 years ago with a novel design for an iPad case and a passion for books, and a coupon they handed out to customers waiting in line to buy the very first iPad outside the Apple Store. It is from those humble beginnings, this company has grown to a full production operation right here in our very own backyard in Dogpatch. In just 2 years, this company created more than 20 new jobs and a score more at their contract manufacturing partners here in the city. For helping to turn the page in a new chapter for the San Francisco bookbinding industry and the new men and women it employs, this year's New Maker Award goes to, are you guys ready? Yeah. All right, it goes to Dodo K! All right, here to accept the award are the co-founders. We've got Craig Dalton, Patrick Buckley, and Mark Manning. Case owner. It has been with me to Israel. It's been with me to China, Mr. Mayor. It's been with me to China. Come on, friends, put your hands together. Give a warm welcome to the makers of Dodo Case. Congratulations, you're always welcome. All right. Are they allowed to talk? Okay, say a couple words to the feature.
I just want to say a big thank you to SFMade and everyone here. I mean, this is a really great honor. We're a young business, and this means a tremendous amount to us. Our colleague Mark Manning couldn't be here tonight because he's traveling internationally, but we're trying to spread the word for Dodo Case in those international markets. But thanks very much.
All right, awesome. Congratulations, guys. All right.
Congratulations. Our next award is SFMade Founders Award, presented by SFMade's founder, Mark Dwight.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. This is really amazing. I conceived of this concept almost 10 years ago now, and I used it in my own businesses, and it wasn't until about 3 years ago that we really formalized it, and in a very short time it has come to this, and this is really gratifying for me especially. My oldest son is here to watch his dad in action, so that's pretty cool. Hey Spencer. Anyway, it's my privilege as the founder of SFMade to give out the Founders Award. And, you know, the Founders Award goes to an established company that has displayed the characteristics of an SFMade company, innovative, daring, I might say, and just making great products, and really supporting the SFMade community as well. And part of that support comes with putting on parties like this. And so, this year's award recognizes the company and the individual who started it, who is your host tonight, who has for 15 years now been making one of our favorite beverages, something that makes us all very happy and very boisterous, as we can tell in the crowd. And I want to welcome to the stage Forrest Gray, the founder, CEO of Speakeasy. Forrest?
Thank you very much, appreciate that.
So, let's hear it for the noble pursuit of making things, making stuff, and making them in San Francisco and making it in America. So, let's hear from our host.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for that, Mark. I appreciate that. And thank you so much to all the folks from the city, Mayor, Malia, thank you so much for coming out. Kate, what can I say? Thank you so much for doing this. It's such an important part of the city, and to recognize what we do. It was a dying breed, I think, before you stepped up to the plate. I really appreciate it. As Kate mentioned earlier, manufacturing, it's kind of a dying breed in a way, or it's a renaissance in a different way of looking at it. It used to be about cranking out widgets, and now it's not. Now it's about passion, and it's about making things that are from the heart, and that's what we're all about here. We're all about making good beer, and good beer is a very passionate thing. It's not something that you can crank out like a widget. We're very proud to be doing it here in the city, and I want to thank you so much for this honor.
Great.
Thank you so much.
There's your award. Thank you. I just want to thank Kate and Janet and Farron. The team at SFMade has really made all of this happen. I'm the lucky one. I'm the founder. I don't have to do any work anymore, and I hardly had to speak at all tonight. And I also want to thank City Hall. City Hall has been tremendously supportive of this, both moral support and financial support. And to Mayor Lee, thank you. I mean, Mayor Lee's been here for an hour. I remember an administration where you were lucky if you got a 10-minute flyby, okay? We got an hour. That's awesome, huh? Malia Cohen, Scott Wiener, we have the local government celebrities right here with us tonight, and that is a fantastic vote of confidence for what we're doing here. So we're going to keep doing it year after year. The party's going to get bigger and bigger. The manufacturing base is going to get bigger and bigger. The job base is going to get bigger and bigger. So let's hear it for making stuff in San Francisco.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, thank you very much. The program is over, so your charge is to enjoy yourself, and I want to give a big thanks to the McCroskey staff that's here, that's involved every day too, making mattresses in San Francisco. Have a good time, everybody. It's wonderful to be here.